So this video is in response to a subscriber who actually had a question about the scapular slide progression. He's struggling with being able to even do the floor slide. So just a reminder for that scapular slide progression, the kind of baseline for this progression is we get arms perpendicular on the wall, everything nice and flat, low back flat, and then we exhale. For those that's too difficult for, we can often regress to doing this on a floor and letting gravity take some of the work, right? So same thing, low back flat. But for this user, he's struggling with even being able to do the floor slide, which is not necessarily uncommon, especially for people who have a very rounded or forward shoulder posture. Could be from sitting at a desk all day, could just be from being very over dominant in his pecs and the front of his shoulders. So what we can do for this is we can do some kind of stretching, soft tissue work, etc., to get tissues ready to be able to get into that position. The first one that I want to do is just a pec minor release. So we can take a lacrosse ball. This is 2 lacrosse balls and a peanut, but it doesn't matter. And what we can do is, if you just press around kind of in your upper pec between your shoulder and your pec here, you'll feel a very tender area in here. That's called the pec minor, okay? So we can take those and we can just pin them in that pec minor, come on a wall here, and we can just find that spot. It's about right there for me, and that's even tender just for me. And what I can do is I can roll, I can do gentle passes with a lacrosse ball, golf ball, even anything like that. And then I can also just take my arm through some range of motion here, right, on the wall, and just kind of pin that muscle and open it up. We can do that for a minute or so each side, right? Really just until we get some tissue quality. You'll feel how gnarly that can get in there, right? How tight it can get. So really just do what you can tolerate and make sure you're breathing through it. But figure about 10 to 15 passes on that muscle if you're rolling, and then just a minute or so of just breathing, moving the arm through range of motion. From there, what we can do is, once we open up some soft tissue mobility, we can then go into a classic pec minor stretch. You can do this with a door frame. It's usually done in a door frame, a jungle gym like this, but we want that elbow a little bit higher than perpendicular, okay? And then I just want to hang out there and get a stretch. What's important here is I don't want to arch. I don't want my rib cage to flare up. I want to make sure that as I get in this stretch, you'll see I stagger my stance. I exhale my ribs down. And what that's going to do is with the rib cage down, you'll feel that pec minor as you lean in, drive those ribs. You see I can take my hand and just drive my bottom ribs down. You'll feel that stretch really open up. You can also just gently rotate and you'll feel even more aggressively, or you can just stay square if that's tight. It's gonna be tight for a lot of people off the bat, okay? Making sure I don't fall in extension, just breathing. Same thing, we can hold there for about 60 to 90 seconds. Finally, what we can do is we can take a foam roller long ways. Unless you're very tall, this will be doable for you. We can put our tailbone on the bottom and then lie flat so our head is at the top, and keeping our low back nice and flat to the roller. We can turn our palms up and just kind of open our arms up here. We can go through some angels, right? Some kind of basically snow angels, let's say, with the palms turned up. And you'll see as I come overhead, I'm making sure I stay low back nice and flat, and big exhalation. And you'll see that you'll feel that tension through the pec minor, and that's going to help open up some motion as well. Those should be able to, if you work those for, depending on how tight you are, days to a couple weeks, you should be able to then start in the floor slide regression of this exercise, getting everything nice and flat. As an intermediary step, what can be helpful, even if you're not still struggling after doing those things, but just I would say in general, on my channel, if you search 90-90 breathing with shoulder ER meaning external rotation, there's an in-depth video tutorial about that particular exercise. That exercise is going to be key for driving the diaphragm movement with the rib position that we want to keep that area open and kind of, let's say, own the position after we open up some soft tissue quality and do some stretching. So that's a great kind of intermediary step to be able to start to get into the position that we're gonna sort of kind of mimic once we get in the floor slide. So I hope this was helpful. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.